Well, folks, we are having once again Alyssa Mercante injecting herself in a discussion that doesn't involve her one single bit. And once again, these are things that she continues to do to try to gain popularity as well as engagement, just so people don't forget about her. And before we do get into this whole topic, please don't forget to subscribe, like, or dislike. It helps with engagement, and I much appreciate it. So this all started off with Q Log, pretty much a person that was saying that she worked on the game of Ori over at Moon Studios, to which, of course, she actually never did. She was just a part of the marketing branch that created media streams as well as doing UX research. Because if you go over to her LinkedIn page and within the experience section, she has nowhere Moon Studios to be seen within that section. And eventually, Qlog would go into protected mode for her page because of the amount of criticism that she was getting. But eventually, the creative director from Moon Studios, Thomas Mailer, would respond to her original tweet stating that she worked on Ori. And this is what he would have to say: I'm the director behind both Ori games, and I don't know who you are and how you were affiliated with Ori. Once again, she would respond saying that she's part of global publishing during the 2018 to 2020 era. And Thomas Mailer would reply with this: that could explain it. I didn't want to cause you any trouble. I just saw your posting that you worked on Ori, and I had no idea who you are. Since you were calling people names online, I thought it was important to inform people that you never actually worked for Moon Studios and that you didn't ever directly engage with anyone at Moon. Always be nice to people, Ray, even those you disagree with. And what Thomas Mailer is referencing is when she would call people names such as Grums in this instance, saying, haha, suck my butthole, you dumb bum. And yet, these people are continuing to have jobs, even though we are continuing to see these types of attitudes and engagement with online. I'd expect when you're working for these big companies such as Twitch, Microsoft, your social medias would probably be constantly overlooked by management just to make sure you're not trying to tarnish their brand's name. But clearly, that is not the case. And then to that original tweet by Thomas Mailer, this is what she would have to say: I wasn't calling anyone names online directly. I was mentioning that I think that this whole anti woke thing is overblown and that a lot of people who harass women and black people need to stop and own up to whatever is going on internally. And once again, that was proven false, as you can see within that tweet. And this is where Alyssa Mercante starts to get into the mix of things. So she originally would quote retweet one of Thomas Mailer's original tweets regarding this whole topic, and she would have a Kotaku article, once again Kotaku, right, saying within the article that Ori Studios is accused of being oppressive, sexist workplace. And once again, this is coming from a sex worker who was originally one, Alyssa Mercante. But I wanted to do a deep dive into what was being accused over at the studio. And so we're apparently having former and even some current employees saying that the hired directors are being accused of repeatedly being unprofessional in public work chats, as well as them even doing nasty jokes, as you can see right there. I'm not going to read into any of that. But the thing is that none of this was proven true yet. These are allegations. And again, it's been over what? It's been over 2 years and nothing new has come out of it. So I don't think that this was actually true. But if it is, then that is still absolutely disgusting. And of course, you would have the original directors, Mahler and Coral, denying any of these allegations, saying sometimes that they may be tough, but when it comes to them praising their developers, they praise it loudly. So there is that whole dilemma where Alyssa Mercante injected herself into the mix to try to gain any relevance out of this topic, because this whole situation is actually getting a lot of engagement and a lot of eyes on these two people. And going over into the original post by QLag, which once again you can't see because the account is limited. So this is where she would say that she worked on the game Ori, when Thomas Mailer would respond saying that no, she probably didn't or didn't know who she was. And this is where Thomas Mailer absolutely goes off on Alyssa Mercante. Once again, here's a employee who's employed at Kotaku, and you're continuing to have these immature attitudes when you're trying to have civil discussions with other people. She starts off saying that you are a PP head. And Thomas Mailer would say, I don't know who you are, to which she would then respond, maybe you forgot. And then she would also, within that tweet, include this little section. Mahler sometimes argued with the veterans that he brought in, and he changed his mind about the decisions they made and would overrule them. Mahler would also forget about agreements and then argue for the opposite to happen, and that impacted the work of multiple people, multiple developers have said. And the thing is, I understand when it comes to the real world, you're not going to have sunshine and rainbows. Things are going to be changing. The workplace is it's ever flowing. It's always something new and something different that has to be done. So when it comes to Kotaku trying to cover this, it makes absolutely no sense. Yes, decisions are going to change. And what happened? It led to two great games by Moon Studios when it comes to Ori, which have received critical praise, gamers' praises, as well as receiving a lot of awards. Thomas Mailer then would respond to this absolute bombshell, just destroying anything that Alyssa Mercante had to say, saying, hey, Alyssa, you are apparently a journalist from Kotaku, so I'm guessing you haven't worked in actual game development yet. What a burn. Let me try to explain the thing you posted about, which I'm guessing was from that hit piece from a few years back. Yes, I'm guilty of what's stated in that image, and that's okay, because this is the normal creative process. We brought lots of veterans into Moon because generally great people want to get the opportunity to work on great projects, and that's our goal at Moon. We always set out to create the kind of games we'd love to play ourselves and fill some hole in the marketplace, because for some reason these holes haven't been filled yet, and so we are all incredibly passionate about what we do. With great talent comes a lot of enthusiasm and passion, which absolutely leads to arguments, because ultimately everyone is working hard on getting their vision into the game, but also everyone at Moon understands that we are working together as a team. So the point of these arguments is then to try to convince each other why this or that solution would be the best thing for the game we are making, and the best solution ought to win. And you pretty much get the gist of what is being said. And I just want to read the closing statement. It says, I don't know why you're out here cursing out game developers and what your whole deal is, but I hope that gave you some insight into the creative process and its messiness and beauty. I hope you have a nice day. Yours, PP Head. Oh my gosh. Again, this is just furthering tainting the image of Alyssa Mercante, as well as even the employer that she's working for over at Kotaku, which I continue to believe is just a giant cesspool where they're probably continuously banging each other when they are off work. And there is just no coming back from a statement that is coming from an adult that responds in an elegant manner, compared to what Alyssa Mercante, once again, just being absolutely immature and childlike, even though she is an adult. And with all that in mind, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.